Good afternoon, everybody. This lovely Saturday. So I have to confess to you, I'm a bit knackered. I really am. I don't know if it's a combination of very intensive writing retreat and teaching Ashtanga yoga for a few days in a row. The yoga made me feel fantastic. Don't know about you, but anyway, the combination means that we're going to have a lovely flow today, but it might be a little bit more soothing, a little bit more easier going than the last few days. So for those of you who've rocked up for the first time in ages and want a full workout, within what we're going to do, you could push yourselves a little bit harder if you wanted to. But sometimes I find that when I'm really tired, my yoga actually goes deeper because I listen more carefully to my body and also my emotional state. So let's see how we get on. You have a choice for your starting posture to either lie on your back with you at the soles of your feet together in a reclining goddess pose. Your arms could be out in goddess arms or by your side. Or I've propped myself up here with a nice bolster, raised off the ground a little bit with a brick and a blanket here. If you have got a cushion or a bolster, really take your time to settle yourself. So you come as close to the bolster as possible and you settle your spine, all the muscles along your spine into the bolster, and you allow a nice little lift for your head so the chin's not jutting up. So take your time to come into this, because we'll take a breathing practice in this posture. Like I said, you can do it without the elevation. And if it's uncomfortable for you to have the soles of your feet together, your knees out, simply bring your legs to an extended position. And then as you come into your chosen position, closing your eyes, maybe even covering your eyes with a pillow or a sock or something, and spending a few moments to drop into your body. Spending a few moments to really trust whatever there is beneath you, whether it's straight to the floor, or whether you have a bolster like me. And take a moment to observe how your body feels right now. Is it obvious to you where you might be holding on to tension? How do you feel in the muscles of your face? Does your forehead feel a little bit scrunched up, or does it feel like it has a quality of melted butter? Your temples and your cheeks, what do they feel like? Your tongue and your gums, the place where your lips meet and your eyelids meet. What do you feel? And with the same detail to attention, I meant that the other way around, attention to detail. Take your attention around your body, noticing from the top all the way down to your toes, all the way down to your fingertips. What's going on for you right now? Where is there tightness? And where do you feel open and relaxed? Because we'll feel a combination of these things throughout the body. And are you able to give yourself permission to let go a little bit now? To almost feel as if you're melting into the surface beneath you, from the back of your head all the way down the back body. Can you let go? Just a little bit. And bringing your attention to the quality of your breath. Feeling initially the gentle rise and fall of your abdomen with a natural breath. Maybe noticing if your abdomen is a little bit tight on the in-breath, or conversely, maybe you feel really free and supple to receive the breath. Noticing how each out-breath is a mini surrender, a little letting go. And the next time you're ready to inhale, take a fuller inhale this time, so you feel the expansion of your belly. And then let go. Your exhalation. And we'll take 2 more like that. Full breath in. Sigh your breath out. And 1 more breath in. And then return to natural breath. And I'll leave you for a few moments to simply enjoy the restorative nature of this pose. Maybe feeling a little bit more open now across the pelvis, the inner thighs, across the chest, and softening the skin of your face. And if you want to, always choosing an intention for your practice. Your reason for being here. And bringing that into the space of your heart. Let's make this a very heartfelt, soothing practice today. And taking a few more moments, simply breathing and settling and feeling your skin, the gentle pulse of your breath, the pulse of life. You can stay where you are on your backs, but just bringing your legs together, soles of your feet on the floor, and sliding your feet away for a final few breaths, so your body, your hips and pelvis just settle again. Until you're ready to bend up your knees and roll over to one side. We'll take a few moments in a recovery position. You could be on the right or the left. Just allowing your spine to settle out. Then if you have used a bolster, you could take that to one side. And I don't know if any of you have been using the playlists that I sent a couple of weeks ago, but this might be quite a nice class to do to a mellow playlist, or you might have one of your own. So maybe getting that ready. And meeting me in an all fours position. You might have a blanket under your knees. Your knees are under your hips. Your hands are under your shoulders. Really spreading your fingers, taking the fingertips down first so you can really feel this whole span of your hands find the mat. Taking a moment to just tune into a neutral spine. We're going to be in absolutely no hurry to go anywhere. And I'm going to breathe with a very light ujjayi breath, a very light ocean breath, nothing too harsh, but a gentle brushing of air on the back of my throat. You might want to join me. And the next time you breathe in with this ocean breath, following the breath with a dipping down of the spine, following the front of the spine as you open your chest and your throat a little. And pausing before you breathe out ocean breath, and you follow that breath out with a scooping up of the navel to the spine, the sideways lifts, chin to the chest, tailbone down. Finding your own rhythm here. Don't be in a hurry, and start the breath and follow the breath with the movement. Almost as if you're surfing that breath. Finding your own rhythm and falling in love with your spine. Falling in love with your spine and feeling as if the breath is creating space, breathing space in between the vertebrae. So there's a lovely flexion and extension going on with the spine in this very typical cat-cow movement. You might want to really tune into that movement and the abdominal muscles that are engaged. But you might also like to tune into the tilting of the pelvis. As you inhale, you tilt the pelvis forwards, almost spilling it forwards. And as you breathe out, you scoop it back again. Let's add a child's pose to this. So as you breathe in, you simply tilt the pelvis forwards and dip the spine. As you breathe out, you scoop up like you were before, but then you push yourself back to pose of the child. Lovely and slow. You might want to sway around a bit for a couple of breaths. We'll just take a couple like this. Breathing in, coming to all fours, dipping the spine down. Maybe you feel your sitting bones separating. And breathing out, pushing up the back of your ribs and coming back to child's pose. Following this leading this, I should say, with the breath. Ocean breath, breathing in one more time. Breathing out, scooping up. And coming back to pose of the child. Let's just take a moment, hands underneath the forehead, to soften out the back of the ribs and the shoulders. Soften the buttocks down towards the heels. And breathe into the front and the back of your heart space. Really noticing, really feeling everything this afternoon. And then we'll come back to an all fours position. We'll take a little bit of hip opening movement on all fours. So breathing in, lifting your right leg up behind you. And as you breathe out, bring your knee into your nose. You can scoop up again. But then breathe in, take your leg out behind you. As you breathe out, bring your knee in towards the right armpit. And then breathing in, lift your leg behind you. And as you breathe out, sweep your leg to the left, press your toes into the floor and push the heel away. And you can look over your left shoulder to get a nice little stretch here. We'll take that 2 more times. So breathing in, lift your leg up behind you. So you can make this as light or intense as you like. Breathing out, scooping up knee to nose. Breathing in, leg up behind you. Breathing out, knee to armpit. You can look right over your right shoulder. Feel into the side waist. Breathe and lift up behind you. And then breathe out, sweep your leg to the left. Push into the toes and look right over your left shoulder. I love this little stretch. It gets into the side of the hips. Let's take 1 more go. Breathing in, lift the leg up behind you. Breathing out, knee to nose. Breathing in, leg up behind you. And breathing out, knee to armpit. Breathing in, lifting your leg up behind you. And then breathing out, sweep your leg to the left, press into the toes, push the heel away, and look over your left shoulder. And then breathing in, lift your leg up behind you and settle the knee back down. And take a moment to notice the difference between the 2 sides. And we'll take that little movement, series of movements to the left leg. So breathing in, lift your leg up behind you. And breathing out, knee to nose. Draw those abdominal muscles up and in. And then breathing in, lift the leg up behind you. And then knee to armpit on the left. Breathing in, lift the leg up behind you. And as you breathe out, swing your leg around to the right. Push into the toes, push away the heel. And look over your right shoulder. Lovely little stretch. And then breathing in, lift your leg up. Breathing out, knee to nose. Breathing in, lift your leg up. And breathing out, knee to armpit. Breathing in, lift your leg up. And breathing out, sweep your leg to the right. Look over your shoulder, push into the toes, heel goes away. Last time, breathing in, lift your leg. Breathing out, knee to nose. Breathing in, lift your leg. Breathing out, knee to armpit. Breathing in, lift your leg. And breathing out, sweep your leg out to the right, look over your right shoulder. Wonderful. And then breathing in, lift your leg up behind you and drop the knee down. And take your knees as far apart as they'll go, your big toes together. And then sitting back towards your heels, slide your hands forwards so you can melt your chest, forehead down to the mat. If your head doesn't reach the mat, bring your hands underneath your head. And allow yourself to settle. Allow yourself to settle and come to the breath. You might still be breathing your ujjayi breath or just a natural breath. And when you're ready, if you'd like to come onto your forearms and slide your legs away, so you're right onto your belly in a Sphinx pose. And so if it's comfortable for you, starting with the elbows underneath your shoulders, underneath your armpits, and taking a while to allow your spine to settle in a curve of a hammock. Nice and spacious at the back of your neck. If this is too much compression for your lower spine, if it's hurting, take your elbows out a bit. And then taking a breath in, and as you breathe out, gently look over your left shoulder, very gently. And then breathing in back to the center. And breathing out, look over your right shoulder. Let's do that again, breathing in back to the center. Breathing out over your left shoulder. Breathing in back to the center. And breathing out over your right shoulder, excuse me. And then breathing into the center and breathing out gently, take your chin into your chest. And as you breathe in, gently lift your head and maybe tilt it back ever so slightly. And breathe out, chin to chest. And then one more time, softly lifting your head on the in-breath and breathing out, chin to chest. And bringing your head back to neutral. And taking your your thumb and forefinger into the opposite elbow. So your forearms are lined up with the end of the mat and you're pressing into your elbows here. And take a breath in and really open your heart here. And on the breath out, begin to push into your knees and your elbows as you lift your bottom up and you melt your chest down. And we'll move in between Sphinx and heart melting pose. So inhale, rocking forwards and down. Exhale, push yourself back, really melt the heart down. Take it easy. Inhale, with control, come down. Exhale, push yourself up. Inhale, rock and roll yourself down. And this time we'll come up to stay in heart melting pose if it's right for you. So you might have your hands to your elbows, or for this heart melting pose you might want to separate your hands and even grab onto the edges of your mat and pull them forwards as you melt down, feeling that lovely stretch under your arms and armpits, side of the ribs. And consciously melting from the back and the front of your heart. Your hips should be right over your knees. You might be on your forehead, you might be on your chin. You might have your chest all the way down to the mat. Can we take 5 deep breaths here? It's also nice to take the side of your head down like I'm doing now if you're feeling a bit like you need a rest. And breathe space into the armpits. Breathe space into the side of the ribs. And melt. Very soft in the face. One more full breath in and a long breath out. And then from here, a little engagement in your abdomen as you slowly walk your forearms back for a moment in rabbit pose. So this isn't child, I'm on my forearms sitting back towards my heels. And take a few breaths into the back of the ribs, the back of the neck, the lower back if you feel like it. You would maybe like to bring your knees closer together. Very lovely pose to settle into the breath. Staying very steady with your breath. Breathing with the day, with the afternoon. It's very hard, I think, when, well, I'm speaking for myself, to encounter quite a strong feeling of tiredness and not want to do something about it. And sometimes the best thing is to just ride it, just really go with it. And I'm not assuming you're all feeling like me, but I hope you can find what you need out of this practice. We come back up to North Force position. And pressing a little bit into the left hand. Breathing in and slowly lifting the right elbow and unfurling your hand, fingertips to the ceiling. And then exhale, thread the arm through, coming down on the shoulder, the side of your head. And then with the next breath in, we come up again, lift the elbow and open your arm, fingertips to the ceiling. And exhale, threading through. And then one more time, inhale, lift your elbow, lift your fingers. This time stay here and come up onto your left fingertips to give you a little bit more space. And take another breath in and maybe find a little bit more space, a little bit more spin. And then for the last time, exhale and thread the arm through to stay. And walk your left arm right out in front of you. And then lift it up and sweep it over your lower back to reach for the top of your right thigh. This will help you spin the chest round. And you might like to slide the left foot away, straight leg, and even come over to the back of your head as you spin the chest. This is getting right into the thoracic spine, part of the spine that coincides with the rib cage that is really difficult to get to. So have a little feel in here. Breathe. One more breath in. And then breathe out. Drop that left knee if you'd lifted it. Bring your left hand down by your face. And inhale, let's come all the way up. And exhale, drop the hand down. Taking a moment to feel the body here. And we'll take that to the left. So pressing a little bit into your right hand. And inhaling, lifting your left elbow and fingertips. And exhaling, threading through. Shoulder side of the head down. And then inhaling, elbow, fingertips lifting up. And exhaling, threading it through. And then last time, lifting your elbow, lifting your fingertips. Maybe come up to your right fingertips to give you a little bit more room to spin, a little bit more room to feel under that left arm. Inhale. And then exhale, threading through for the last time. Really resting into the left shoulder side of the head. Lifting your right arm up and sweeping it behind your lower back. Maybe you can reach the top of your left thigh. Maybe you slide the right foot away with the legs straight and roll a little bit over onto the back of your head. As you spin the chest and you really feel into the right shoulder blade, part of that spine, and you breathe. Steady breath. One more inhale. And as you exhale, bring your right hand and your right knee down. And pushing into that hand, inhale and unfurl to the left one last time. And exhale, drop the hand down. And we'll come back to child pose again. So I'm choosing to take my knees far apart, my big toes together. You choose whatever works for you and settle down with your arms out, hands under your head or arms wrapped around the body maybe. And see if you can completely melt now in the shoulders, the back of the ribs. Almost feeling as if you're breathing through your forehead. Quite deep, steady breaths, ocean breath if it's there with you now. Quite a melty practice. And we're going to come back to that Sphinx to heart melting pose. So coming down on your forearms, sliding down onto your belly. And taking a moment to settle. Taking a moment to settle the spine. Feeling the front and the back of your heart. Shoulder blades on the spine. Really soft in the face. And you might like to stay here. You might think this is just a perfect place to be. Or you might like to join me by holding onto your opposite elbows. And we'll come into that slightly dynamic movement between Sphinx and Anahatasana, heart melting pose. So when you're ready, pushing into your knees and elbows, inhale to come back. And exhale, rock forwards. And we'll do 4 more. Inhale, push back. Exhale, very controlled and delicious. Inhale. Exhale. So we've got 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. And on this one, as you come up, you might like to stay, maybe holding onto the edges of your mat. Allowing yourself to pull them away. As you take a few breaths here. Second time round, you might feel you have more access. You might feel easier now at the back of the ribs, the armpits. Breathe. Every exhalation you let go a little bit more. One more full inhalation and a long exhalation. Slight engagement in your abdominal muscles. Creep your forearms back to another rabbit. Allowing space in the back of the neck, breathing into the back of the ribs, and observing any change in the way you might feel now, if at all. And from here, we'll straighten the arms, walk the hands forwards, spreading the fingers, curl the toes under. Bring yourself back to first downward dog of the practice, so take it easy. We'll take 5 breaths, freestyle, your choice on how you want to come into this dog. So we've really opened up the upper body with the heart melting, but it's the back of the legs which might need a little bit of love now. So you could bend one leg at a time, you could bend both, you could lift your heels right up. You could twist from side to side a bit. You'll know what you like to do. 3 more breaths. Really long in the side body. 1 more inhalation. Exhale. And then looking in towards your hands, walking your feet forwards. So you end up in a forward fold. But I would bend your knees. Take hold of your elbows and allow the whole of your upper body to pour out of the pelvis. And to breathe. Breathe space into the spine again. Only straightening your legs if that feels like the right thing to do.
You might want to sway a little bit. You might prefer releasing your hands and holding onto your big toes and having a slightly stronger forward fold here. Lifting the tops of your thighs up and back. Pulling your elbows out to the side and taking 3 more breaths, whichever version you're in. Really breathing into the back of the body. Taking the weight forwards a little bit on your toes. Lovely. And then wherever you are, releasing your hands and bending quite a lot into the knees. And we're going to come up with that very slow lift, bone by bone. So now the tailbone to drop. Chin into your chest. And bone by bone, come up super slow as each vertebra finds the next. Eventually you'll roll your shoulders back. And your head comes last. And take a moment just to feel the body standing. Notice how you feel. Maybe hands to your belly. Maybe a hand to your chest. And breathe. Feel the feet on the floor. The movement of the body with the breath. And then releasing your arms down by your sides. Feet are parallel. You're going to breathe in and lift your arms up. And as you breathe out, sit softly back into Utkatasana, into chair. I'm going to try and see how we get on, taking a little bit of cat-cow movement, which will be restricted in this chair. So as you inhale, reaching up and back. And as you exhale, scooping a little bit forwards. Let's take 3 more. Inhale, arching a little way back. And exhale, scooping forwards. And inhale. And exhale. Now inhale, pushing through your feet, come all the way up. And exhale, arms down by your sides. Take a moment to feel the body here. And then breathing and lifting up your arms again. And gently sitting back in your chair, fingertips to the floor. Lovely long spine. And breathe in, just bring your arms to parallel with the floor. And breathe out here. And breathe in, arms by your ears, maybe looking in between your hands. And breathe out here. Take another breath in. And as you breathe out, come down halfway and take your hands behind your back, interlacing them. And from here, begin to lift your arms. And as you draw them over your head, begin to straighten your legs, arms coming with you. And take a couple of breaths here, absolutely fine to move around a little bit in the shoulders. One more breath in. And as you breathe out, sit back in your chair. Swing your arms forwards. And breathing in, come up to the top. Breathing out, arms by your side. Should we try that again? Breathing in, lifting your arms up. Breathing out, fingers to the floor, Utkatasana chair. Breathing in, arms parallel. Breathe out here. Breathing in, arms up by your ears. Long body. Breathe out here. Take another breath in. And as you breathe out, come back halfway, hands behind you, interlace. On the breath in, begin to straighten your legs and draw your arms over your head. And breathe out. And another breath in. And another breath out. And then breathing in, sitting back into your chair. Arms out by your ears. And breathe out, push yourself all the way up. Arms by your sides. And do one more. It's a great way of building up slowly a bit of stamina and a lovely opening for the upper body. Breathing in, arms up. Sit back in your chair, breathe out, fingertips to the floor. Breathing in, arms to parallel, breathe out here. Breathing in, arms up by your ears. Breathe out here. Take another breath in. And then calm down halfway, hands interlaced on the lower back. And begin to breathe in as you straighten your legs. Bring your arms with you, breathe out. Take a couple of breaths here. You can keep the knees soft if you need to. Feeling into the shoulders, the back of the ribs. One more breath in. And then on the breath out, simply come back to your chair, arms up by your ears. Take a breath in. And then for the last time, push up. Take a breath in here, reaching, reaching, reaching. And then breathing out, arms down by your sides. One hand to the chest, one hand to the lower belly. And come to your breath. Feel the body now. So different to practicing Ashtanga. And I love the variety in my own yoga practice. I'm not saying one type is better than the other. It can feel very different on different days. And coming to the front of your mat. And breathing in, sweeping your arms up, lovely big breath. Ujjayi, breathe out, pour yourself forwards. Breathe into a flat back, straight legs. And then step yourself back to plank. And take a breath in your plank. And then drop your knees, breathing out, and come down ever so slowly. All the way down to your forehead. Your fingertips are about in line with your shoulders. Take a breath in and out through the front of your body. And you're going to lift your hands a few centimeters off the floor. And with your hands lifted, breathe in and lift your legs, your chest and your head, really activating the whole of the back of the body. And breathe out, come down, hands are still off the floor. And then breathe in, lift, activate through your toes, the whole of the back body alive. The cat watching me through the door, come down from the garden. And then last time, breathe in, peel yourself up. And breathe out, stay here. Maybe slide your arms behind you. And take another full breath in, feel through to your fingertips. And then breathe out, release, hands down by your chest. Breathe into all fours. And then come to a downward dog for 5 breaths, your choice. If you're feeling weary, come down and rest in child's pose. Otherwise, walking out your dog, maybe finding a still dog. Very, very close and intimate with the breath. Maybe you've got to that stage where you're really pushing the mat away with your hands and your feet to create that length in the side body, from the hip creases to the armpits. And then looking in between your hands, stepping your right foot forwards and bringing the left heel down. Front heel to back instep for Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Using your left arm to propel yourself up. Notice both my legs are straight. And then breathe out, come into your Warrior 2. Just check your arms are more or less level with the floor. Your spine is perpendicular with the floor. Maybe straighten into that front knee again and then bend in. Taking your eyes over your right fingertips. And on a breath in, really hitch your shoulders right up to your ears. And then breathe out, release them. Let's do that again, breathing in. And release. One more time, breathing in. And release. And then turn your palms up. Breathing in. And turn them around the other way, breathing out. Can you do that a few times? Feeling the movement in the wrists, the shoulders, all the while super strong in the lower body. Until you come to just a bit of stillness, maybe move a little bit deeper. Tuck the tailbone under, pubic bone lifts. One more inhalation, one more exhalation. And then pushing yourself through the front foot. Feet to parallel, and then take your left foot to the back of the mat, and we'll take that warrior two to the left. And so you could straighten that front leg and then re-bend in, firming up the back leg. And let's hitch the shoulders up to the ears again. Inhale and exhale, slide the shoulder blades down the spine. And inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Notice I'm quite fluid in the upper body. One more time, inhale. And just settle your gaze over your front fingertips, nice and soft, only coming as deep as feels right for you. And then turning the palms up. And then turning around the other way, leading with the thumb. And keep exploring the range of movement here. Leading with the thumb and little fingers, almost like a little bit of a dance here with the hands, the wrists, the arms. Until you're ready to settle for a few breaths, settling here. Quite strong. One more inhale. On the exhale, come back to the center of your mat. Feet are wide apart. Hands are to your hips. And just take your toes out a little bit. And inhale. And as you exhale, come into your goddess. And for this goddess, we're just going to explore moving from heel to heel. Lovely, open across the chest. Slide the shoulder blades down. Maybe eventually tuck your tailbone under and try and root down through the sitting bones. Knees should be tracking with your second toes. One more breath in, and then breathe out, push up to star. Quite tiring. Take a breath in here, and then come back to goddess, but with your hands inside the inner thighs. We'll have a little bit of fun. We can use our hands to push the legs apart. You're going to push into the left hand, roll that left shoulder forward as you look round to the right. As you inhale, you come back to the center. And exhale, push into the right hand, come round over to the left. Lovely stretch. Let's do it again. Breathing in. Breathing out. Really push the leg away. Breathing into the center. Breathing out, come over to the left. Breathing into the center. And then breathing out, find your goddess arms. Really spread your fingers, curly fingers. Take a breath in. And on the breath out, straighten yourself up to star. Take a breath in your star. And we come down again for the last version of goddess. So I've got my left hand rooting down into the left thigh. You're going to swing the right arm down. Swing it to the left and then bring it over the right ear. And we keep swinging here. Really lovely sense of movement in the right shoulder. Until maybe you want to come and stay. I've come down on the elbow in the left. And I'm reaching and looking under the right armpit. Still quite mobile in the lower body. One more breath in. And then breathe out. Let's take that to the other side. So we start with a little bit of a sweeping movement here. Breathing into these circles. Lovely breath into the side of the lungs and rib cage until you're ready to stay. Reaching, reaching, reaching. Press into the heels of your feet and look under the left armpit. Beautiful. One more breath in. And then on the breath out, push yourself up to star. Take another breath in your star. And as you breathe out, take your heels out, toes in, and hinge forwards to Prasarita, forward fold. You can slide your hands down your legs. Maybe your hands are forwards if you want a longer spine. And we'll take a few breaths here. I'd like you to bend a little in the knees to release the pelvis, soothe out the lower back. And then take a breath and lengthen the spine, shoulders away from the ears. Weight pouring into the front of your feet. And then pull yourself maybe a little bit deeper to look in between your legs. Some deep breaths here. And really lift up from the kneecaps. Feel the sitting bones lifting, the tops of the thighs, as you breathe life into the back of your legs. Beautiful. One more breath in and a long breath out. And then release your fingers and walk your way to the front of your mat, sliding that front foot back to a downward dog. Feel the body now. Maybe you feel quite different in the lower body after all the goddess work. And breathe in, come forwards to plank. And breathe out, lower yourself slowly all the way down. All the way down, release your toes. You're on your forehead. Then bring your fingertips, like tents, out to be about level with your shoulders. So there's a right angle between your elbows. And I'd like you to really press into your big toes, press into your pubic bone here, and slide your tailbone towards your heels to really protect the lower back. And now, breathing in, peel the chest up. Head comes last. And we ripple down, breathe out. I'm getting cramp in my feet for some reason today. Breathing in, peel up. Head comes last. And breathe out, pour yourself down. We'll take one more, breathing in. But this time on the breath out, look over your left shoulder. Maybe you can see your right foot. And then breathing in, come back to the front. And breathing out, look over your right shoulder. Maybe you can see your left foot. And then breathing in, come right up to the front, heart to your throat. And then breathe out, come all the way down. Resting with your hands underneath your forehead. Shoulders heels falling out to the sides. This is called crocodile pose, or a version of. You could even take your feet slightly further apart. And we'll take a couple of breaths, really inflating the lower belly against the floor, feeling the space in the lower back. Alert to sensation in the whole body. Alert to the quality of your breath. Maybe you're still breathing an ujjayi breath, soft ujjayi. And then eventually sliding your hands back to your ribs, pushing yourself to all fours into a downward dog. And take a couple of breaths your way. Looking in between your hands and walk, step or jump your feet forwards, coming to a nice open heart, shoulders away from the ears. And breathe out, fold. And we're going to press into the feet, and breathing in, come all the way up, arms over the head. Reaching up, maybe even looking up, palms meet. And then breathing out, hands down to your heart space. Now feel the body. Now notice the quality of the breath. Do you feel any different, and do you know why? Maybe you don't. And we'll come to a little bit of balancing, nothing too dramatic today. You want to really feel into your feet. You can interlace your hands into Keshbana Mudra, which we're doing a lot at the minute. It's a mudra, a hand gesture for releasing grief and opening to joy. So the four fingers are reaching up. It's quite a powerful mudra. And on the in-breath, I want you to lift your arms up as you lift your heels up. And as you breathe out, lower your heels to the floor, but lower your arms down. So we'll do that again. Breathing in, peel your feet off, heels up. Lift your arms up, hopefully not wobbling like me. And breathe out, come down. This time we're going to come up to stay. So breathing in. And now breathe out. And we'll do a couple of things like maybe lift the heels a bit higher. I can tell I'm tired because my calf muscles are spasming. It's really interesting, it doesn't often happen. Now I want you to try and draw the tailbone down, lift the pubic bone up, and then see how you can reach longer in the side body with that lovely support from the abdomen. I don't know if you can feel that. Can you breathe here? Breathe into the ribs as you reach up, heels are lifting. One more breath in. And then very delicately let go. Delicately let go and feel the body. And we'll come to Vrksasana, tree posture. So we'll start by rooting down into the left foot and the leg. Eyes softly fixed in one spot. You're going to take your right knee out. You can start with the heel into the ankle, just to check your balance. Maybe your foot comes into the lower leg. Please don't take the heel to the knee joint, and maybe you come all the way up. But listen to your body, you don't have to come into the full expression. Find your stability, find your breath, and then thumbs and forefingers touching maybe, lift up your arms. You can try all those little mini instructions by drawing the tailbone down, lift the pubic bone up, a little bit of a sideways pulling back, and that will give you more space in the ribs. And then you push your right foot and your left inner leg towards each other, drawing the outside of your hips in towards each other. See how that concentrates you. And then after all that, see if you can breathe and soften. Find inner stillness here. One more breath in. And then lightly release, slightly release out. Notice the effect even of a balance just on one side. An effect on the mind, I think. We'll take that to the other side. So you root down through the right foot now. Open the left hip. Maybe this is where you're going to stay. Your foot comes into the lower leg. All the way up. Please don't press the heel into the knee. Find your stability and then lift your arms up. The position of your eyes is vital. Tailbone, pubic bone, sideways. And now breathe and soften. Soften in the jaw. Real softness behind the eyes. Draw the outside hips in towards each other, into the center, and see how that concentrates you. One more breath in, and then lightly, delicately release. And take a moment now to feel the body. Take a moment now to feel the body. And we'll come to a little quad stretch. So if you'd like to firm up through the left leg and hold the right foot behind you. If you can, your knees are together and you're bringing the right heel into the center of the buttock. That's about the right place. And you're drawing the knee down. See how this gives you quite a nice stretch in the right quad. Then tilt the pelvis back a little bit. Lift up the left arm and breathe here. Notice how you feel. This might be where you want to stay. Maybe you'd like to try and hold the foot with both hands. Maybe you'd like to try and kick the foot back into both hands to help you into a little bit of a back bend. And breathe here. And soft in the left knee, weight pouring forwards a little bit. Breathing. And gently straightening. Release the foot. Let's take that to the other side. So firming up in the right leg. Holding onto your left ankle, heel in towards the buttock, knees are together. Really pull that knee down, tilt the pelvis back. Notice how that affects your posture. And start off by raising the right arm, just to find your stability, to find your breath. This may be where you stay. Or maybe holding both hands to the foot. This might be enough, pulling the foot in towards the buttock, or maybe you start drawing yourself into a little bit of a back bend. Heart opening version, Natarajasana. Feel the foot kicking into the hands and how that draws up the front of your spine. Open heart. And gently, gently, whoops, release out. And feel the body there for a moment before we come into full or half dancer's pose. Might be easier than what we've just done. So you're holding onto your right foot again, lifting the left arm, all those instructions. And this might be enough, or maybe you pull your weight forwards and you can keep the heel into the buttock, or maybe create a little bit more space, kicking back. Keep dropping that right hip so you don't torque the pelvis and hurt the lower spine. And breathe here. Gently come up. Let's take that to the other side. Just noticing how the back bend, the balance makes you feel. Taking the left foot, lifting the right arm. All those little instructions about the pelvis, the knees. Inhale, and as you exhale, maybe come forwards a bit. Only if you want to start creating more space for this back bend by kicking the foot back. Find your breath and your edge, where you can stay for a few breaths. Gently come out. And feel the body now. Don't shake it out, just feel the body now. Notice your breath. Notice how lovely it feels to have 2 feet firmly planted on the ground. If you have a blanket or a blue block or a thin block, just having that ready. And bringing your feet so that they're parallel, hip distance apart. Breathing and reaching up to find all that length. And breathing out, coming down halfway. So you really finding that length out from your sitting bones to your fingertips, out through the top of your head. Take another breath in. And then draw yourself as far down as is right for you. So this might mean, we've already done this once today, might mean you bend your knees. I'm going to hold on to my big toes, but you don't have to. You could hold on to the backs of your legs. And then for one breath, open your heart, find that long spine. I'm straightening my legs, but you don't have to. And then on the out breath, coming down for 5 full breaths. In fact, I'm going to take the whole of my palms under my feet and press my toes into the heels of my hands. Really drawing the navel in towards the spine, elbows pulling out. Lovely opening for the whole of the back body. Pull the weight forwards a little bit through your toes and see how this helps create space. Steady breathing. Lifting up the tops of the thighs, separating the sitting bones. One more breath in and a long breath out. You release your hands and take your toes out. We're going to come into squat. If you need to place your heels on the block or the blanket, you do. And then settling yourself down into malasana. Just for a couple of breaths. And we're going to take 3 movements from malasana, which is this garland pose or squat, into forward fold. But let's get comfortable in our squat for a moment. So I'm using my upper arms to squeeze my legs apart, palms of my hands are together. And I'm breathing space in between my collarbones, pressing into my heels. And I'm rooting down through the bottom of my pelvis and my sitting bones. So a lot, sounds like a lot, but your body will just feel this. And breathe right down into your lower belly. So we'll move into a forward fold. So bear in mind that our feet will become parallel for forward fold. Hands in front of you. Begin to lift your bottom, bring your feet to parallel. Come to half forward fold first. So you find a long spine, inhale. Exhale, fold. Take a couple of breaths here. Then turn your toes out. Take a breath in. And on the breath out, you melt back down into your malasana, garland pose. And feel it. Feel the rootedness, the stability of this pose. Earth pose. Maybe even close your eyes. And then we'll bring it into that forward fold again. So take your fingertips down. Begin to lift your bottom. Bring your feet to parallel. Straighten out to open your heart, inhale. Exhale, fold. Feeling the body here. We'll make this our last squat. Take your toes out and come all the way down as far as works for you. Lovely. And just breathe and feel the body. I don't know how warm you feel. I don't know how open you feel now. How stable. How refreshed. One more inhale. And then exhaling here. And bringing your hands behind you. So you can just sit gently back. And bring yourself into a cross-legged position. Cross-legged position. Taking a moment to notice how you feel here. Lovely long spine. Feeling your sitting bones. And we'll take a little bit of cat-cow movement in a cross-legged position, and we'll bring that into a little bit of core strengthening, but nothing too alarming. So taking your hands inside your thighs, inside your knees, and on the breath in, tilting your pelvis forwards and opening your heart. And on the breath out, you can even take your hands onto your knees to scoot back, chin to the chest, sideways comes back. I'm even rocking back. So accentuate the rock, breathing in, rock forward. And breathe out, really tilt back, draw the pelvis back, feel the back of your ribs. We'll keep going for a few more. And it might be that this is where you want to stay with this gentle rocking. Or it may be on the exhale that you begin to lift your feet up crossed in front of you, arms out to the sides. Change the cross of your legs as you come down and you inhale. Exhale, maybe you come back, lift the legs, change the cross of your legs, rock forwards. And maybe you like that half boat, crossed ankles. And maybe you now come to uncrossed ankles, spreading your toes and your fingers. So you're choosing your way, always rocking forwards and coming back to the level of boat that feels right for you today. Maybe some of you will fancy coming to straight legs. I'm not sure I do, but I'll try. So taking a few more. You know all the options. Each one is perfect according to how you're feeling today. Staying steady with your breath. Maybe holding a boat a little bit. Maybe not. And taking two more. Maybe taking slightly lesser ones now. Maybe holding for a breath or two, really lifting the chest. I'm taking my last one now. One more breath. And then we come forwards to butterfly, soles of the feet together. Quite far away your heels are from your groin now. And draw yourself all the way forward. Maybe your head reaches your feet, maybe it doesn't matter. Don't want you to push here, I want you to soften in the back body now, soften in the shoulders. We're actually releasing all the core muscles when we do this. Can you breathe softness into your pelvic floor? Softness into your belly. Softness into your forehead, your jaw. And then very gently coming up. And taking your left, I don't know if you can see, taking your left leg out, your right foot into the inner thigh. And engaging the left leg or bending the knee if you need to help the pelvis rock forwards. And bringing yourself around over the left leg for Janu Shirshasana. And breathing in, reaching up, reach up. And breathe out, come down and find how far you fancy coming into this Janu. And taking 5 breaths, really melting. Really melting into this forward fold, very introverted. You could let go of the Ujjayi now. Coming to the closing sequence of the practice. Make this a pose about the breath, where you need to find space to breathe. Lovely. And very gently come out, and we'll bring it into a little pigeon. So if you know you have pain in the right knee, I'd like you to come onto your back and take this pose, right ankle over the knee and draw the legs in. If you're able to take pigeon on the front, so I don't know where you are on your mat, but basically just turning over so the right knee is outside the right hand. Left leg behind you. If you need to roll over onto the right buttock and have this version with the left knee bent, that's fine with me. Really listen, the most vulnerable part of the body in this pose is the knee, the right knee. So listen carefully to the knee. If you're able to, you roll over so the left hip is coming closer to the floor. And you check over your back shoulder, your left shoulder to the back leg, just to see it straight. And then looking forwards and breathe and really puff up your pigeon's chest, maybe open in the throat. And breathe out here and find a little bit of movement, wriggle around in your pigeon. So my right knee's right out to the right. If you're on your back, you're drawing your legs towards you with the right hand through the gap in between your legs, interlacing it with the left hand, probably behind the thigh. If you're on the front, let's move in our pigeon for a moment. Let's take a breath in and really find a little back bend. And then breathe out with the chest, come forwards, forehead down. And then breathe in, peeling up. Find this flow, this ripple. And breathe out, lead with the heart, come down. And we'll take one more, breathing in. And breathing out. And you have an option. You could stay down and sleep in your pigeon. Or if you really love, and I can't really do this, but if you really love the quad stretch at the back, maybe you can take both feet, hands to that foot, a little bit like we were standing. You can come into a version of pigeon like this. Finding your way though, not feeling you have to do this. So I haven't done this for ages and it feels kind of good, but I need to work at it. I can feel the top of my left quad isn't quite open enough. Take a full breath in and then breathe out, release. If you're on your backs, coming back over. And we'll roll over to take Janu with the right leg extended. The left heel into the left foot in towards the thigh. Engaging the leg by pulling your toes towards you and taking your torso around over the right leg. Take a breath in, lift up, find length. And then breathe out, reaching forwards for the foot or anywhere where you land. Wriggling around and taking about 5 deep breaths here. Breathing space into the body now, wherever you feel that's needed. Breathing into it. And then gently coming out. So we bring this into pigeon. If you know you need to go on your back, come onto your back with your left ankle over the right knee. Left hand through the gap. Bring your legs towards you. Otherwise, shifting yourself as elegantly as you can around. To come into pigeon with your left knee out to the left. So I'm keeled over into more of a deer pose here, which is fine. Or roll over, check your right leg is straight. Up on your fingertips. And then breathing in, find a little bit of a ripple up the front of the spine. And breathe out, pour forwards. And breathe in, find that ripple up the front of the spine. And breathe out, pour forwards. And last time, breathing in. You have the choice here of staying here, of coming down to sleep, or maybe reaching for your right foot, maybe with both hands, and finding where you can explore this pose either a little bit or a lot. So rather than force it, ease your way and explore where the pockets are. Explore where you can breathe space into the pose. And if you hold your breath, that's a sign that things aren't so available. One more breath in. And then breathing out. And coming for a simple wide-angled forward fold. Not for long. You could sit up on something, you could bend your knees, feel what you need.
toes engage, but pulling towards you to engage the legs. And take a breath in here, finding space. And then breathe out, come down as far as you want to. But the aim isn't to push, the aim is to surrender here, to really surrender towards the end of your practice. Settling into the exhalation so you notice them fading away, fading away. Stretchy practice today, stretchy practice. Very different from the Ashtanga sequence, which I also love. Taking a few final delicious breaths. We'll slowly come up. Make our way down onto our back for a very delicate moving bridge and a very delicate twist before we come into Shavasana. So come down for a moment. You might like to bring your knees into your chest. Have a little roll around. Lovely to feel the floor underneath the back of the body. And you bring your feet down hip distance apart. This isn't about a strong back bend unless you're longing for a full wheel. I'm going to do 3 moving back bends and that's all. But if you know what you're doing, come into a stronger back bend of your choice. And then pressing into your feet, breathing in and lifting your arms as you peel the spine off, the pelvis off. And breathe out slowly, slowly. Relish that feeling of each bone, each vertebra coming back down. Your sacrum. And then let's take another one, breathing in, floating up, nothing strong. Breathing into the front body and then breathing out. And taking one more. And if you want to stay up and take a few breaths, go ahead. I'm not going to, but feel free. I'm going to come back down. And take a moment here. I'm taking the soles of my feet together, my knees out. Listen to your body. Listen to your body. What does it need right now? And the final pose will be a windshield wiper twist. So can you take your feet so that they're mat distance apart? You can start with your knees knocking in and your arms out in goddess arms or T-shape. And breathing in, and as you breathe out, your head moves to the right and both knees gently drop to the left. Just very silkily lazy Sunday afternoon, except it's a Saturday afternoon. And then breathing in, head comes back to neutral. You lift the knees to the center. And gently look to the left as the knees slide to the right. And notice which knee moves first. I'm not going to tell you which one to move first, but notice what happens naturally. Head comes back to neutral. Which knee leads? Head comes to the right on the exhale. Your knees go out to the left. And can you listen to your body and either do a few more moving windshield wipers or maybe stay for a few breaths on each side? Maybe you can want to take the foot onto the knee. Give a little bit more of an opening here. Full breaths. Softening everything before relaxation.
If you hold on one side, make sure you hold on the other. When you're ready, when you feel you've had enough of that, bring both knees into your chest. Maybe hug yourself into a little ball, a little roll around. And then making sure that you have a blanket or whatever you need to lie down and rest. If you started your practice with a bolster under your back, it'd be fine to use that now, or maybe a bolster under your knees. Making yourself really comfortable, legs apart, feet rocking out, arms out to the side. Wriggle around a little bit to see where you can release a little bit more, maybe moving your head a little bit from side to side, your pelvis. Have a little bit of a jiggle before you gradually find stillness. And we'll take those 3 deep breaths again to help us towards our relaxation. So next time you breathe in, taking a full breath into the abdomen. Breathing out, open mouth, big sigh. Full breath in. Last one. Full breath in. And then let go. Just let go of everything and allow yourself to experience the full range of sensations. Quality of your breath. Surrendering completely to the force of gravity. And you're welcome to stay longer. You can just switch off the volume, switch off the computer. If you would like to be gently brought out of your relaxation to carry on with your day, follow me, and I will turn on the audio and the visuals in case there's anyone out there who just wants to say hello, no pressure. So beginning to take a few deeper breaths, feeling the rise and fall of your abdomen with the breath. And feeling the weight of your body. Really aware of your body on the mat again. And introducing your choice of gentle movements, maybe into the neck and head, maybe into the wrists and the ankles, the fingers and the toes. Maybe having a full body stretch.
Maybe having a hug and having a little rock around until you're ready to roll over to one side for a moment. And eventually meeting me in the seated position, maybe your eyes closed, maybe your hands together in front of the heart space. Remembering any intention you had for this practice. Just noticing how you feel. And taking a full breath into your heart space. And as you breathe out, bowing your head into your chest and exhaling completely. And then inhaling when you're ready, lifting your head gently, opening your eyes. Thank you so much for practicing with me.